Well, hello there, internet family. It's me, Lee, back with another episode of Tea with Lee. Before I go any further, I do have to remind you, I know you've heard this a million times, but all views and opinions expressed on this podcast are mine alone, and they in no way represent my former, hopefully future, not currently right now, but you know what I'm saying, those people, the ship people, the fun ship. Carnival. Yeah, none of this represents Carnival Cruise Line in any way, shape, or form. Now, with that being said, we can get into the good stuff. I have been desperate to get today's guest on my podcast for such a long time, but he's such a hotshot entertainment director, being so busy. In fact, he started his own podcast as well. We'll talk about that a little later. But he's always so busy that I've only just managed to rope him in to be involved. So without further ado, it's time for me to give him a little call. Let's see if we can get hold of my wonderful entertainment director friend, Darren. Let's go.
Hello?
Hiya, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Darren, would you be so kind as to take 10, 20 minutes out of your busy schedule to have tea with Lee?
I can definitely do it. I've finally taken some time off work and I am free because I'm normally doing 1,000 things. So absolutely.
I was so worried that you were going to say no. I thought you were going to say, I'm really sorry, I'm too busy working on industry insights.
Well, I am very busy with my own podcast now, thanks to your inspiration. So Industry Insights with DPDS, you can check that on Spotify and iTunes, but I'll talk about that later. But yes, I'm excited to be on the other side and actually maybe nervous because now I have to answer questions instead of asking the questions.
No, there's absolutely nothing to be nervous about because it's not a very serious podcast. This is just me chatting with people that I love about life.
Well, that's good. But a disclaimer, I don't like tea. So I don't drink tea or coffee. That's strange, isn't it? But I'll have a Diet Coke. I've got one over here.
I thought you were going to say gin or wine.
No, not yet. It's still a bit early, but maybe later.
Now, Darren, I know you and adore you, but there is a chance that people that are listening to this have no idea of who you are. So in a nutshell, can I ask you to give us a quick overview of who you are and what you do or did do, all of that stuff? That was for the Americans.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, if you don't know me, my name is Darren Pinheiro dos Santos. It sounds very exotic. I did inherit that name. It's not mine from birth. But yeah, it's a wonderful name, but causes such great problems with the UK banks when I call them up and have to spell it out. But yeah, I have been an entertainment professional for over 20 years, I can say now. That makes me sound super old. Yeah, I did start off in the arts as a singer and dancer and performed all over the world. And then obviously the past decade, I think, been working for Carnival Cruise Line as a performer, but now, before this lovely lockdown, becoming entertainment director for Carnival Cruise Line. And I'm from Bristol, England.
I mean, that's a very modest overview of everything you've done, and I've got to admit, it's only since we've been on this hiatus that I've realised the true depth of your experience and all of the amazing things you've done. And I'll just be honest and put it out there. I was blown away at everything that you've done.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I kind of forget sometimes, it's until like I had to make a presentation the other day for something and I had to go back and think about what I did and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, I actually done quite a lot. And that wasn't all of it either. And I was like, oh yeah, I forget that. So thank you. And then it's actually nice to talk about it and relive those memories and journeys because you do forget over time.
Yeah, I've been doing very much the same thing, if I'm honest. I mean, we can address the elephant in the room in that we've been out of our preferred line of work, shall we say, for well over a year now. It's being dragged out. Its elasticity seems to be never ending.
It is, but I feel like we're closer to the end than we were at the beginning. I mean, that's a given, but we are nearly there, I think.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
there is hope out there. I see a lot of cruise lines that have to remain nameless just in case somebody important at Carnival is listening and we get our wrists slapped. But there are a lot of big cruise lines out there making very bold moves that would suggest a return to cruising is imminent.
Yeah, it's been an exciting week, so let's hope each week gets more and more exciting.
So, Darren, can I ask you, for the last 12 months, while you have been like a landlubber, like a real human,
Yeah.
can we talk about first of all what you've been doing? How have you filled this time?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really busy actually. Like the other day, I thought I need to have some time to myself. So, kind of obviously when we paused and we thought, it'd be 30 days and then maybe 3 months. And originally I left the ship when the pause happened and I went to Brazil. My husband is from Brazil, so we went there thinking that that would be the best place to go. And at the time, it was not as dire as Europe. So we went there, spent kind of 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. We have an apartment, but it was rented, so we kind of rented this villa out by the beach.
Yeah.
It sounds great. It was great. Had a pool and kind of did nothing but house party and play quizzes with people and walk on the beach. And then the realization that was like, maybe this is going to be longer, and I think I'm going to need to go to the UK and earn some money because I have a house and bills and all those things. And it was, yes, I had some savings, but didn't want to use all of those. So came back and thought it was going to be really super easy to find a job, actually, because normally that's what would happen, or it did many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, no worries, get back. And the reality kind of sunk in June. I was like, wow, there's actually millions of people unemployed from this, and there are no jobs. So I kind of was just applying for anything, and I had hundreds of applications, to be honest. And eventually I had a friend of mine who was working at Amazon, and they said, you know what, there's jobs going. Amazon is thriving during this pandemic. It was the only way at one point that people could get, goods and things. So I was like, well, what does it entail? Tell me. And she's like, well, it's not glamorous, but it's an honest job. So it's packing deliveries and shipping them out. She said a world away from what I was used to, but like I say, no job is too good for anybody. So I was like, sure, absolutely. So I applied. Me, my husband and my sister all applied at the same time, and we got this job and off we went to Amazon. I really didn't pay much attention about what I was getting myself into, and then got there, did the training, and like any entertainment professional, I kind of was playing this role of super packing boxes, and I really loved it for the first week. Like, this is great. And then the reality of 10-hour days, 4 days a week, standing on my feet all of a sudden for that long was tough. So I kind of went straight into work in June, and I've been working since, and I've been fortunate enough to navigate my way through Amazon a little bit with my transferable skills, I call them, from working and, being in the position I've been in. And so I kind of went into recruitment with them, which is what I'm doing at the moment, but I also stepped up and did a 3 months health and safety role with them, which wasn't kind of what I thought it was going to be. On the ship, we do a lot of health and safety, but it was miles away from what that was, and wasn't too happy doing that. And I've gone back to recruitment. So I've literally been working. Whilst I've been doing that, I set up a podcast series 2 after many conversations with you, like what can I do during this time, what can I give back? And it's industry insight. So I'm really talking with industry professionals throughout the whole entertainment sector, really, different backgrounds. It could be directors, singers, musicians, revenue professionals, whatever it might be, and finding out their stories and getting their insights. So that's been keeping me very busy. I rescued 2 dogs. That's been keeping me busy, walking them every day and washing them when they jump into muddy pits every weekend, which drives me insane. And also taking some time for myself to sing. I've gone back to singing and really recording music that I've enjoyed. Yeah, and I've suddenly, kind of been on social media trying to get all that out, really. And
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing.
I mean, your singing, I think, is such a wonderful outlet because, of course, it's a passion. Many people sing and perform as a vocation, as a career, but I think for most entertainers, that comes from a passion. So I think that's a beautiful outlet, and it's great that you've been able to sort of start recording and putting music out there because your recent Sound of Silence collaboration was so beautiful. In fact, I'm going to share some of that. I'm going to put a link to that video in the video
Yes.
in the podcast description on this episode. Definitely.
Yeah, it was great. And I think during this time, like obviously I was a singer for a long time, and then I moved over to management. And I was always for decades, just singing songs that I was told to sing, really, and not always enjoyed. So my love is to sing like acoustic, it sounds depressing music, but it's, love songs or whatever it is. And I just like to sing them, and I connect with it. So I've been doing a lot of that. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and the podcast, I've got to say to anybody that's listening, I assume if you've started listening to this Tea with Lee podcast, that you maybe have an interest in listening to podcasts. So I would highly recommend, whether you're involved in the entertainment industry or not, Industry Insights with DPDS, Darren's podcast, is brilliant. Some of the people that he's had on so far and their stories of their careers, it's brilliant. So if you just want to be a fly on the wall, learn about people, perhaps you have a vested interest in the entertainment sector, maybe you don't, it's well worth your time because the stories that he draws out of people, it's not just like a business podcast. There are very heartfelt stories, real life stories from people all over the world as well. So I highly recommend checking it out. And if you want an easy entry-level episode, Darren, you spoke to like this little English cruise director guy on one of them, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was so lucky to book this guest because he's been so busy growing his hair. He was free to come on and talk to me yourself. Yes, I got the chance to listen to your story, and it's fantastic. So yeah, if you are listening, once you've listened to Tea with Lee, pop over and listen to Industry Insights with Lee Mason and myself.
Yeah, you can continue the conversation.
A whole day of us.
Why
Amazing.
not? Why not? And then just sort of going in reverse order, unpacking what you were saying, no pun intended because of the Amazon packing, but I think it's funny that you said as a performer, you assumed the role of the packing professional, because for the best part of my early career in jobs that weren't necessarily performance jobs, I'm talking about my survival jobs when I worked in a restaurant or when I worked in a cocktail bar and stuff, I used to approach jobs, interviews, and even doing my job like it was a role, like it was a casting, and I was playing a character for the most part. And I was like, I'm going to be the best bartender this town has ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've kind of done too with all those jobs over the years. I mean, I've done kind of everything from, working at Amazon. I worked in a fish and chip shop one time. I have worked at a gym. I've done all of a call center, selling windows, all of these things to get by when I was a performer. And yeah, the same. I would give it the best audition for a couple of weeks, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is really not for me. Do the best I can, and then off I go. And it sounds awful, but they'd be so upset because I think entertainers do such a great job of working with people and putting on this facade that we can do anything really, which is kind of what we have to do in our industry. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah, you just reminded me when you were talking about working in a fish and chip shop and all of the other jobs you've done. Have you had any really weird jobs? Because you reminded me of a pretty weird experience in my previous lines of work.
I mean, I did try. My mum was a nurse, and when I kept coming back from contract, she's like, why don't you just get an agency job as a healthcare worker, and you can come and work on my ward? I was like, sure, try it. Well, I did do it. I don't know how I did it because I'm really not good with, things that come out of places and all of that stuff, and blood and all of that. And I was like, that was very, very interesting. And I just remember my first shift, and this sounds really morbid, but unfortunately someone had passed away.
Oh,
And my job was to go in and, look after them and get them cleaned and ready. And that to me was just, I mean, I didn't go back after that. It was quite an experience, an eye-opener.
yeah.
But also, now I look back, I got such great experience from that life experience, but I also found out that was not for me. But there's been many jobs. I mean, before I started at Amazon, actually, I went to test coronavirus for a week in Swindon, which is near me, and I didn't last very long with that either, because the thought of I had to put the swab at the back of the throat, and let's say tongues are very different. There's a lot of variation of tongues around the country and the world, and if you can't, I'm going to stop there.
I never want you to see my tongue anymore. I'm always going to hold my little hand up in front of my face like, hey, Darren.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at that now.
What you said about working in a care home and stuff, one of my friends from the Fun Squad, I'll let her remain nameless on this anecdote, but she told me she got a job working as a carer in a facility near her, and she didn't last very long there because she was doing entertainment for the residents, but one of the elderly gentlemen decided to take his trousers down, and she she panicked because that wasn't in the handbook when she was trained.
Magic Mike at the
yeah.
It's crazy, right? But such admiration for people. It's really hard work, and
yeah.
Kudos to anybody. And my mum did it for so long, so thankful for people like that. But unfortunately, I would not your person to come to.
No, thankfully, I haven't attempted to step into care. But my weird job, have you ever been in a character costume as a skin or a mascot?
Yes, I did play Billy and Betty Beachball on my first ever entertainment experience job. Yeah.
Billy and Betty Beachball. Now, be honest, were you ever violated by a member of the public? Because I don't understand why anybody wants to touch these characters inappropriately. But when I was a dolphin, I got molested.
You were a dolphin.
I was a giant dolphin. But as a beach ball, I guess it's defensible because you don't know the anatomy of a beach ball. Maybe that's
they couldn't quite get to those bits because obviously it was a big beach ball. But however, they did like to push you over, and it was very difficult to get back up as a big round beach ball. My brother actually still doesn't let me live it down, because I think I was 17 at the time, and I went to do a summer season in Woolacombe, and I was too tall really to be any skin character.
Yeah.
I begged and begged to the entertainment director at the time, manager, to let me have a go at Billy and Betty Beachball and do the party dances. I didn't do it very often though.
Yeah, I did. I think when I worked in Mallorca, there was a space bear called Bufo, and he had this big belly, and the animation team didn't really enjoy being in it. So Mr. Enthusiasm over here was like, I'll do it. I'll give it a go. And I was so proud of myself. And my mum insulted me deeply because she said, you were inside that big green dog. I was like, he's a bear.
Yeah, I'm lucky I'm too tall to get cast for that now.
Yeah. Well, going back even further in your timeline, you were saying about being in Brazil, and I can remember very, very vivid memories of being jealous of you in the sun, dipped in your pool, while I was in my little hometown of Barrow-in-Furness.
Yes.
Beautiful out there, right?
Absolutely stunning. So it's a place called Fortaleza, which is like the northeast of Brazil. So it's warm, but you have the continual breeze. So it's very hot for me as a Brit. It's hot, but it's not too hot, but it's kind of really nice weather, and you've got the wind, and yeah, it's amazing. And the food is just delicious and everything like that. The only thing I miss when I'm there is friends and family, because it feels so far away.
Yeah, I mean, it's another world, really. I cruised the Amazon River when I started out on my career, And I understand that it's a very different environment. I was sailing quite remote little villages until we got up to
Yeah.
Manaus. But it was like another world when we got to even to the developed city of Manaus. It was. I mean, not a lot of people there even spoke or entertained the concept of English, and my Portuguese is rubbish.
Yeah, mine too, sadly. It is still a bit like that, really. And I remember when they had the Olympics coming, and
Yeah,
my husband used to be like, I just don't know how this is going to work because no one speaks English really in Brazil. It's just like, it's such a big country.
yeah.
They don't need to, or they haven't wanted to. And I just remember thinking, and yeah, how's this going to work? And he'd say, test the lady at the hotel. He's quite mean like that. So I'd go to, and he's like, ask for some towels or do something. So in my best British accent, I'd be like, excuse me, please, could I have some towels? And blank face. And he's like, I don't know how this is going to work, but it did work. And they had a few years to practice some
Yeah.
English. And I very lazy and don't speak much Portuguese at all. So, my bad when I'm there because I am trying, I'm learning, but yeah, I need to do a lot better.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? I think as native English speakers, especially English speakers that are British born, where we are so complacent with the other languages because English being an international business language, I think we have it very easy and it makes us a bit lazy.
Yeah, I think the term that I was about to use, I've been called by many that I don't speak Portuguese is lazy. Yeah, I'll take it.
It's all of us, though. It's not just you. Geraldine's half French, and she keeps encouraging me to speak French. And other than pulling up phrases from Google Translate that I will forget immediately.
Yeah, I use that sometimes and reply to friends in Brazil, and they then must think, wow, and then they go fire off all of this stuff, and then it takes me forever to translate, and then I have to be honest that I'm translating it.
Yeah, man. Now, moving on to like present day. I mean, we've been in constant contact since everything shut down because we were working on the Glory together. I left you, I think it was 2-3 weeks before the world turned upside down. I left the 1st of March, I think.
Yeah, we just finished a Journeys cruise, and then yeah, literally 3 weeks later, that was it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know both of us have we've been on a real roller coaster of highs and lows as we've been sort of frustrated, I think is the politest way to put it, because everything's just been out of our hands, right? We've no control over when we go back or how soon or anything that's happening. But you have a beaming smile on your face, and I was just going to ask, how have you managed to stay on the shinier side, the sunnier side of the street?
Well, it's not always been sunshine. It's difficult, right? As you said, as I think my job and your job has always been to be positive and set a good example and, see the bigger picture. And sometimes that's been difficult during this pandemic, right? And because it's so out of our control, you think you're getting somewhere, then the goalpost moves a bit further, or then it gets moved further again, and then you're left in the only way I can kind of analyze it, you're left in the middle of this field, and the goalpost keeps getting pushed and pushed, but the field gets bigger, and it's been difficult. There have been times where I felt like the field might swallow me up.
Yeah.
Or what am I doing? Where am I going to go? Which way in the field should I go now? Because maybe that's it. And it's been difficult. There's been time, and it's been great to have friends like you and other close friends to be able to really confide in sometimes and be frustrated.
Yeah.
But also then be able to, know that we're coming to the end and it's temporary. And I've used that word from the beginning of the lockdown, that this is temporary. It might feel like this is life because it is every day, but it's a temporary situation. You look back through history, things like this have happened. It is temporary, and we will go back to some normality, whatever the new way of life will be, and we'll be able to return to those careers that we've worked really hard on. So like I think it's just for me keeping busy, being creative, communicating. That's the best thing. I think it's very easy when you suddenly have not bad thoughts or maybe not feeling the best to kind of shut off from your friends and people, and that's when I feel like it gets difficult. Whereas it's much easier to say, I'm having a really rubbish day, I'm feeling like this, and talk to someone about it, because just getting it off your chest makes you feel so much better. And I think that's been key for me, especially with Alfred, being able to say to you, like, this is just ridiculous. Like, come on, universe, do something. And then the next day we're like, oh, you know what? I'm great. I'm fine. And have you seen this? And I'm doing this today. So it's important to communicate and really acknowledge your feelings. And it's okay to not know.
Yes, I think that's huge. I think acknowledging your feelings and accepting the fact that it's okay to not know. But you are so right. And there's times when we've been chatting that I've maybe woke up in a bit of a funk, or something's popped up on the news or on Facebook, and I've got in touch with you and just been like, blah, 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 blah. And then afterwards I felt like, oh gosh, have I transferred my funk onto Darren?
I mean, that's what a friendship's about, right? It's giving and taking, and that's fine. Some days you are going to be up and I'm going to be down, and it's the same. So I've been very thankful for that, and it's been key. And we're still not out of it yet, and it's been difficult, and hopefully we are getting to a better situation. But again, when it's out of your hands, there really is nothing you can do. So there comes a point in the day or whatever you're feeling like, well, I can't do anything about it. It's not like I'm saying I want to lose 5 kg. I can control that. Yes. I can control what I eat. I control the exercise. But when it's something global and, a pandemic, I can't control that. You can't control that. So it's just to ride the wave, I would say. Just ride it up, down until, it smooths out and we're all okay.
Well, talking about losing 5 kilograms, I mean, months ago, I'll be honest, months ago we were chatting and I was like, Darren, I really need to sort myself out. I've got to start working out and exercising. And you were like, yep, me too. And I was like, yeah, let's keep each other accountable. And then I went very quiet, and that's not because I don't support you. It was because I fell off that wagon immediately.
Yeah, I'm off that wagon again too. I was doing so well during some of the lockdown when we were able to go to the gym and play tennis. I was doing that a lot, and then this third time I've not been very good, and I've tried to start doing this 5 a.m. club and wake up and do all these things. I was very good the first week, and someone at work was like, how's the 5 a.m. club going? And I was like, it hasn't happened the last week, so I need to get back on it. But I did go for a run yesterday, and then I've hurt my calf muscle, so it's the signs that I should probably rest a little bit more.
Yeah, the universe is saying, don't run, Darren. But no, that was at like 8 in the morning when you went on that run, though, no?
Yes, but my calf muscle for some reason just decided to not want to run, and yes, there was hobbling around, but it will be all right in a few days, I'm sure.
Bless you. I mean, I've started, if I'm honest with you, I restarted my exercise. It must have been this week. And I'm not on some big, huge exercise plan. I woke up in the morning and I've got a little set of dumbbells in the garage, and I picked them up. I did a couple of reps, put them down, walked away, made a cup of tea, sat down. I had my cup of tea and I was like, you know what? You should go and pick them up again. So I went in the garage and I did a few, picked them up again. And then I put them down and I went back in the living room. I sat down. I thought, you know what? It's time to get on the exercise bike. So it kind of snowballed. I think sometimes we can outface ourselves by saying, I'm going to be really active and I'm going to follow a workout plan, when really a little is better than none at all, right?
Yeah. And I spoke to a friend who's like a personal trainer, and everyone looks to them, right, to be this leading example. And they were like, do you know what? Just listen to yourself. If you're not feeling it, don't bother. Because yes, sometimes it can make you feel better. But she said, but if you're not feeling it, just don't bother. Yeah. Basically, and in my head, I keep saying to myself, well, the gyms are going to open again now on the end of the month or the beginning of April. And that's when I'm going to kind of get back into it, because I really don't enjoy working out at home or running around the block. I actually like going to the facility and kind of, when I'm there, I know I've got to do it, whereas I'm at home, I just stop.
Well, that's like working from home, isn't it? You've got a designated space in your mind. You're in a work environment. You go to work, you go to the office, whatever. We're on the ship, we're on board, and you're in your work mindset. You're in your work environment. Boom. Whereas the line has been so blurred over the last 12 months that people are doing their work from home. They're doing their workouts at home, and that's also your personal space. In fact, it's a little bit like life on board a cruise ship. So for anyone that's listening that's maybe had to homeschool, because we do trainings and stuff as well. So if you've had to homeschool kids, or you've been working remotely and doing your workouts at home, that's exactly what it's like living on a ship, especially if you've been locked down and you can't escape the people that you live with. That is ship life right there.
Exactly. I think that's why a lot of ship employees have probably navigated quite well through this lockdown, because we're used to being away for long periods of time without seeing people, not being able to have full freedom of doing everything you want to do because of sailing and security, whatever it might be. So I think we're kind of used to that. So it might have been easier for us cruise employees.
I think so. Upon reflection, I think I just made a realization that we'd been training for this sort of lifestyle for years.
Exactly.
Now, Darren, this is like a little personal hang up or neurotic moment, but we were talking about working out. We all are aware of the golden boy, the king that abdicated the Carnival throne, Mr. Matt Mitchum. He was renowned for being super fit, some sort of an Adonis, right?
Yes, he did. He does look pretty good.
Well, there's a part of that. I look at that and I'm like, well, the company is missing like a Men's Health poster boy, and there's parts of me that's like, Lee, well, all it is determination and a work ethic. That could be you. And then I think about it, I'm like, that's too much. That's far too much effort.
I mean, that would be very interesting to see. I think maybe many of your listeners will actually pay to see that. Maybe you're going to be the new poster boy, taking shots on the beach and stuff.
I'm not sure. I think a pig just flew past my window, in fact.
Well, stranger things can happen. You never know.
No, I mean, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do some sort of... It'd have to be incentivized. I think I'd have to do some sort of a charity thing for St. Jude or something, because that's the only way that I can commit to. If there's a cause, if I'm held accountable, it's like, I don't know, Lee's abs for
my sister,
St. Jude.
Well, yeah. My sister asked me the other day, actually, she was like, do you want to do this Three Peaks or something like that? I think it's in Scotland for charity. And, she didn't say the charity part at first. She was like, do you want to do this Three Peaks? And I was like, absolutely not. And then she was like, well, it's for charity. And I was like, oh, sure. Yeah, brilliant. Sign me up. So I think I'm going to do it. I shouldn't have said this now.
You have?
Because now I'm going to have to do it. But yeah, apparently I'm going to do this with her and do this 3 peak challenge. But I definitely need to do some training before that.
Well, I've done it, if that helps. I haven't done the 3 peaks in 24 hours, because I think the serious, like the hardcore challenge is that you do the tallest mountain in England, Wales and Scotland within 24 hours, which is crazy. But maybe if it's for charity, it's a little more relaxed. I've walked. I haven't done them all in the same sort of... I think I've done them in all close to a week. But I have done the tallest mountain in Wales, in Scotland, and in England. Wales, it was absolutely chucking it down. Couldn't see a thing. I'd go back up there. If you want to train, if you want to go out and hike, I'll take you. Your face says absolutely not.
My sister seems to get me involved in these things. Like for her birthday, was it last year or the year before, she said, oh, let's go to Snowdonia and there's this zip line. And I don't like heights. And I was like, wouldn't pay much attention. She said, it's all sorted out. My dad had arranged it. So off I went to Snowdonia. The next thing I know, I'm like in this bean bag thing attached to the wire, and off we went. managed to do that. And she said, oh, and now we've booked the next part of the adventure. It's, I don't know what you call it, but we were inside the cave and you have to like zip wire across like all these caves and dungeons and climb around all this stuff. And it turns out we did the training and my sister didn't do it. She wouldn't do it. She was too petrified. And I was like, I don't believe it. And I kind of just, said an obscenity and just went, oh, I'm doing it. And I zipped across the first one and the guy was like, well, that's it. You can't turn around now. You're across. So I spent the next 2 hours crawling and climbing and zip wiring across these Snowdonia caves. It was horrendous, but I did it.
I love that. I love that. In fact, you just reminded me of a TV show that I watched with my mum during this whole time together called Breaking Dad. It was Bradley Walsh from
that's
UK
me.
TV and his son Barney. And his son is like a thrill seeker. And he took his dad on a trip and they did all sorts of adrenaline stuff. You've just given me a great idea, Darren. If we end up on a ship, you're the ED, I'm the CD, we're going to make a video series and I'm going to take you out on all of the excursions and we're going to do them. I mean, it's not that I'm a thrill seeker. I'll probably be absolutely terrified as well. But I think that'd be so funny. Just to
it would be funny because Bradley Walsh's reactions were pretty similar to what mine were. And I watched the one recently when I think it was in Switzerland, there's this bungee jump on the dam.
Yes.
And there's just absolutely no way that I will ever do that. And his reaction, I remember watching it just like feeling every moment that he was, shuffling to the edge and then decided eventually not to jump. I think even the son was like, yeah, maybe that was a good idea, Dad, that you didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great series. I'm not sure if people that are listening outside of the UK will be able to get it, but if you are interested in finding out what we're talking about, perhaps someone's chucked it up on YouTube or something like that. Check out Breaking Dad. Don't get confused with Breaking Bad, because that's a popular TV Netflix series about some guy that makes drugs. That's not what we're talking about.
No. Yeah, it's a great series. Check it out.
Well, Darren, I don't want to take up your entire day, so I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me for Tea with Lee.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed my Diet Coke with you and catching up, and hope to see you very, very soon.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, can you share with everybody your online bits and pieces, industry insights? Where do we find it? Where's it available on?
Ooh, now you're testing me now, aren't you? Industry Insights with DPDS, that is me. You can find my podcast on Anchor FM. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Spotify. And there are some other platforms as well. I can't remember them all right now, but you can also follow me on Instagram, Industry Insights with. There's no DPDS on there because they wouldn't give it to me. So it's just Industry Insights with, and you can also follow me on Facebook as well.
I love it. And I'll put links to all of that good stuff in the description on this episode. And please do check it out. In fact, this episode description is going to be jam-packed because it's going to have all of the Industry Insights links. It's going to have links to Darren singing. I just hit my microphone by accident. I'll pretend that didn't happen. Links to Darren singing and all of that good stuff. But thank you. And I will call you back and we can have like a proper natter as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me, and for everybody listening, stay safe, and hope to see you all on a ship soon.
Yes, please. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, folks, that was the wonderful Darren. I hope you enjoyed being a fly on the wall for our little catch-up. As always, I have to remind you that views and opinions expressed on the show are mine alone and do not represent Carnival Cruise Line in any way, shape or form. Talking of representation, though, you can represent me with a t-shirt or a pair of flip-flops or something like that. Lee, your Cruise Director merchandise is available on shiptees.com. That's ship with a P, not any other letter. Shiptees.com. If you just click on their menu, they've got a Lee, your Cruise Director collection, and I think you would look ravishing in a t-shirt or hoodie. Maybe you need some glassware or a thermal receptacle to drink a warm drink out of, like tea. So once again, shiptees.com for your Lee, your cruise director merchandise. Until the next time, stay up late, have fun, and make memories, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.